I'm sure this is going to fall on deaf ears, but don't trust Jasmine Crockett. In comparison to what we've had in the Democratic Party, yes, she's a better spokesperson and she's a fighter. But she's just another corporate Democrat. She takes corporate PAC money. She takes money from the crypto lobby. She's voted with Israel 100% of the time. She just visited Israel. Hasn't called what Israel's doing a G word. Not to mention doing the same thing that AOC has started doing, saying that all people that voted for Trump are racist and doing that divisive bullshit. And last time I checked, Texas is a red state, and you're running on insulting Republicans. That makes sense. And before you say, well, we only have two choices, no, we don't. Primary. James Tallarico is running. He's awesome. You should definitely support him over Jasmine Crockett because he actually cares. Fighting Trump isn't good enough anymore, people. We've been trying this tactic for 10 years, and it hasn't worked. The only way we're going to fix the Democratic Party is putting people in there that are actually going to fight for us, not just fight against.
You know what really bothers me about Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett? Running for Senate in Texas.
And how much you want to bet every single reason is going to be a Republican talking point?
It's not the fact that she ran this really embarrassing, incredibly narcissistic ad that basically is just about herself.
Ooh, so Jasmine showing the attacks that Trump has on her is not self-centered. It's context. It's actually normal in politics to show the opposition that you're battling, right? Showing the clips of Trump attacking her isn't oh my God, look at me. It's look what I'm going against. Look at why I fight the way that I do. And I don't know if it's because you didn't understand the message. It's a bigger picture, my love. It was about standing up to power. Calling her narcissistic for highlighting the harassment that has came from the president of the United States. It's just reinforcing racist stereotypes. When black women defend themselves, oh my God, it's too much. Oh my God, you're a narcissist. Oh my God, you're making it about yourself. But if a white man does this, Gavin Newsom, it's oh my God, they're tough. They're fearless.
Or the fact that Texas very much is still a red state, so it's unlikely that a Democrat is going to win for the Senate there.
I live in a red state, Georgia to be exact. We have 2 Democrat senators. It's fucking possible. It's possible. But it's not possible when you say you can't fucking do it. Then you'll never do it. And then if you're expecting Ma'am Donnie to run for senator in Texas, then of course not. You got to understand the constituents. You got to understand the voting block. You actually have to look at strategy, not theories from your TikTok lives.
What actually really bothers me about it is how willing progressives are, my fellow people on the left, to quickly abandon everything you claim to stand for just because you like someone's personality.
Why does it bother you so fucking much that people support black women? Like, oh my God. Because I'm looking, there's no videos about James. The white man gets to run in Texas and no videos about what you hate about them. And the progressives that love James before Jasmine came out with her campaign. Mind you, Jasmine is a progressive. So I'm confused as to why progressives wouldn't support a progressive.
You can cope and seethe about it all you want, but the fact of the matter is, Jasmine Crockett is a very standard conservative corporate Democrat.
Conservative corporate Democrat. Jasmine Crockett. The same Jasmine Crockett that's on the Congressional Progressive Caucus? Like, I'm just confused. Do you know what these words mean? Or did you just expect us to not know what they meant so you can just stick them there and think we weren't going to say anything?
Just because she's good at trolling Trump and she's got a good media presence doesn't make her a progressive.
And nobody said that's what made her progressive. Maybe her being on the Congressional Progressive Caucus, my love. Maybe her voting record? I don't know.
In her first run, she was heavily propped up by the crypto PACs, the same ones that support Trump.
So half truths are lies, right? They weren't crypto PACs, they're crypto super PACs. And I think, again, words have fucking meanings, right? Super PACs cannot coordinate with the candidates or any of their team. Because you know what you were doing with saying this, making it seem like, oh my God, now she votes so pro-crypto. No, she doesn't. If you look at her voting record, she actually puts a lot of fucking regulations when she introduces amendments for crypto bills. But it's so much easier just to say, oh my God, she accepted PAC money. Because you know people don't understand the difference between super PACs and PACs. And they also don't have the time to go look up her voting record, like you apparently didn't.
Today, we are having a discussion on the truth about true solidarity in the Black community. I know that this is a topic that we always need to talk about. Why? Because you understand we have some groups that take advantage of Black solidarity, right? But when now it's needed, people are not seeing the reciprocity. People are not reciprocating towards Black people, but Black people are always showing up for them. Perfect case scenario. But before giving the perfect case scenario, I'll have to give a disclaimer. This aspect involves pro-Palestinians. This aspect involves Arab Muslims. But trust me, it is not all of them that subscribe to this. We have a section within a section of them that subscribe to this. We had some pro-Palestinians who were, trying to say that they cannot support Jasmine Crockett. And why don't they support Jasmine Crockett? Because we understand there is so much anti-Blackness that is embedded in the systems of some of these people. However, we have some Black people, not Black honestly, but we have some Black people that really understand the importance of solidarity. We have some Black people that understand the need for unity, because while you might not think that you'll need it, you'll definitely come to need it. And so this is something that has been happening for a while now. We have people that usually take advantage of Black people. And in this case, they are making it clear that they are not standing with Black people, and they know very well how Black people need this. They know damn well how badly Black people need this, but they cannot support them. But look at history, how Black people have been standing and how Black people have been trying to support any other group marching on the streets for them and even risking their lives for all these people. But this is how they get repaid. So brothers and sisters, I don't want to say much on the introductory, but I just wanted to make clear that this doesn't apply to all pro-Palestinians. This doesn't apply to all Arab Muslims, but it is something that is happening to a subsection of them. So let's get into the video. I'll be back and then I'll be sharing my thoughts in regards to this, right? So let's watch the video.
Also bragged against her opponent in 2020 that she wasn't taking corporate PAC money, and then promptly went on to take a ton of corporate PAC money.
I do find it interesting that you then showed a picture of super PACs giving her money. There's a difference between super PACs and PACs. But I also think it's very ignorant to label every single PAC as dangerous, hostile, or like a, oh my God, no, she can't take money from them. Because she has taken corporate PAC money, not $2 million like the screenshot that you're showing. But it just shows a lack of understanding of how government works when you automatically label every single PAC as harmful.
Before you think that there's hope for another candidate in that James Tellerico guy, you would be mistaken. Because while you'll hear people say, he's a nice pastor's son that's running against corruption in the billionaire class and the corporate interest. Yeah, about him. He has really close ties to Miriam Adelson. Yes, that Miriam Adelson has taken tons of money from her affiliated PAC. So, no to him too.
So I have a question. Genuine question. Who would you like to fucking run? Mind you, you're in New York, so you won't be voting regardless. But who would you like? Who would you like? And also, it's too fucking late for anybody to add their name now. So you have to fucking pick one. Well, you don't, because you're not in Texas, but...
I've said it before, but I'll keep saying it. Some of us who said that we were not going to support candidates who vote to fund Israel's genocide meant it.
And while doing so, these candidates that still support Israel will continue to fucking win. But the candidates will also support racism, homophobia, transphobia, removing women's rights, gay rights, LGBTQ plus rights, all of our rights. Unless you are a straight, cis, white man. But you didn't vote, or you didn't publicly support for a candidate that you never could have fucking voted for in the fucking first place, all while you're sitting in your fucking bedroom comfortable as fuck, desperate for this revolution to start that you wouldn't even fucking participate in because of the privilege the color of your skin gives you.
And by the way, those of you progressives who claim to be against corruption and want change and then prop up Democrats like this, all you're doing is showing to the entire electorate that you're full of shit, that you have no principles, and that it's more the same and they shouldn't trust you.
My love, you are full of shit because what are you doing? Talking about this when it's too fucking late. Okay, who do you want to prop up? It's performative. Oh my God. You treat politics like a fucking game. You turn your phone on, you talk about politics, you turn it off, and you go live your white, comfortable fucking life. You don't care about these people that are actually fucking affected. Oh my God, it's a red state. Texas is a red state, and there's blue people that live there. Even the fucking red folks, they live there. They are affected by these fucking policies. But it seems as though you want them to be affected just so they might care about the cause that you're advocating for. And if that's what you have to do to get people to care about the cause you're advocating for, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You shouldn't want other people to struggle so that they care about you. If I was homeless and I went up to your car and I kicked your tires and I kicked your windshield and then I said, hey, can I have some money? You're not going to fucking give me money, are you?
We all already know that the corporate Democrats, the Democratic Party at the national level, are hacks, are corrupt, are full of shit, have no interest in changing, nor any interest in learning the lessons from the last election. But it's really disappointing and quite yikes to see people who are on the left and progressive, who said that they were going to stand on business when it came to corruption and change and defunding Israel and holding the old guard Democratic Party accountable, completely abandon all those stated principles because they like her personally.
Because, my love, not everyone gets to live in Delulu land like you. Not everyone gets to live in New York. Living in a blue city is a fucking privilege, my love. Not everyone gets to turn their phone on, talk about politics for a few hours, turn it back off, and not think about politics until the next day. There are people that live in red states. Shocker. Oh my fucking God. I don't know if this is a shocker also, but people in red states are affected differently than people are affected in blue states by a Republican president. You know that, right? Not every single district, not every single fucking county, not every single state has the same issues. The voting block is different in every fucking city. And I'm tired of these fake political fucking strategists coming on the internet and acting as if though they understand that. But it just gets performative to me. I'm not gonna lie because, okay, who do you want? Who do you want now? Because the options that we have are the final options they're going to have in March for the primaries. There's going to be no new candidates other than the Republicans unless you want to choose one of them. You had time when you were playing your little game of fucking politics to turn your phone on and give your opinion months before this, but no, you waited until after it's final that Jasmine put her campaign in, and so, nope, we don't want her. So who the fuck do you want?
We are watching in real time the way that this country forces black women to uphold a higher standard and forces them to meet higher requirements in order to see support when running for political office. This is the exact same thing that happened to Kamala Harris. This is why women like Michelle Obama have said that they're not going to run for political office. And this is what's happening to Jasmine Crockett right now, where one vote that she has made in her time as a representative is enough for a lot of white leftists to say, oh, can't support her. She's not a good progressive. I'm seeing people who are saying that she's not a progressive, despite the fact that she's been fighting for marginalized groups the entire time she's been in office. She's been fighting for working people the entire time she's been in office. And by every metric, she's a fantastic candidate. She's willing to get in Republicans' faces and call them out on their bullshit and on their hypocrisy. She's not afraid to mix it in with them. She's incredibly outspoken. She's incredibly intelligent, incredibly well educated. By every metric, she is the perfect candidate that you want to see when you want progressive candidates, when you want more progressive candidates to run. But I'm watching so many leftists who are seeing one vote that she has made and saying, oh, can't support her. She's done the unspeakable thing. She's done the unforgivable sin. And that unforgivable sin is voting for one bill that was going to help that country down there in the Middle East that I can't say. Even though they're perfectly willing to forgive other progressive candidates who just so happen to look like me for doing similar things or saying similar things to her. But no. A black woman saying it? Nope, can't do it. That's an unforgivable sin. Despite the fact that she's legitimately everything else you want in a progressive candidate and has made one vote that I happen to disagree with. If I was in Texas, I would still vote for her. She is a fantastic candidate. And you are seeing the racism that exists in white leftist movements by the way that they are holding her to such a higher standard that they don't hold white.
Oh my God, the leftists are coming out again. Now they have something to speak about. Now it's Jasmine Crockett. I know motherfucking damn well we not finna have a repeat of last year. I know we not finna have a motherfucking repeat of last year. You know what? It's not about Palestine. I'm gonna make that very fucking clear. It is not about Palestine anymore. It's about black women. It's these white ass leftists and these anti-black Muslims that are out here speaking against Jasmine Crockett. Okay, and half of y'all bitches don't even live in fucking Texas. And y'all talking about, no, she supports Israel. Jasmine Crockett has never come out and says, I fully support Israel. She's never done that. She is in the motherfucking middle. She believes in a two-state fucking solution the same way Kamala Harris did. And y'all about to fuck this shit up again. Y'all about to fuck up again by listening to these dummies that only come out when somebody black is speaking. They don't give a fuck about nobody else. They ain't said shit about Kamala Harris until after she was done with her fucking book tour. Crickets, bitch. Crickets. Now they feel like they can fight. They feel like they can speak because it's a black woman. And everybody hates a black woman. So now these leftists talking about, oh, she supports Israel. She has never come out and said she fully supported Israel. She's voted on packages that had Israel in it. She's also stated that nobody deserves to die in Palestine, especially women and children. And that the two-state solution is going bye-bye. And that Palestinians deserve to have their sovereignty. Okay, so what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Y'all about to piss me off. And any it's on this fucking platform and start speaking against her, you gonna have to see me. Baby, you gonna have to see me, and you know I'm a fucking militant. You know I got issues, okay? And I got nothing but time on my hands, okay? I'm stuck in the house. It's winter, bitch. Let's go. Oh, and I forgot this shit. Y'all act like we ain't got problems at home. Once again, y'all focus on a whole motherfucking country when we are fucking burning here. Have y'all not learned y'all motherfucking lesson yet? We are burning. The house is on fire, okay? And if we don't put people in the fucking Senate and in the fucking House that can protect us and put out this motherfucking fire, we're gonna see this man in 2028. Don't piss me the fuck off this morning.
Do not vote for Jasmine Crockett. Texas is a gerrymandered state, and a black woman is never going to win. If Beto O'Rourke couldn't win his spot for senator or governor, what makes you think a black woman who speaks her mind is going to win? Vote for James Tallarico. As much as I want Jasmine Crockett to be our next senator, it's just unrealistic, and we're going to lose.
Christina, is this you with your proximity to whiteness, thinking that white men are going to save you or even fight for you? Let's get it. This is the difference between accomplices, allies, and plants by white supremacy. You say you want Jasmine Crockett to be your next senator, but you're sitting here telling us that she cannot be your next senator. And you would rather throw your support behind one white man running for the Democratic nomination after also saying that a more popular white man, Beto O'Rourke, couldn't win the seat. But before you take a chance on a nationally recognized black woman, you would rather come onto Beyonce's internet and tell people not to vote for the nationally recognized black woman with name, popularity, and recognition in Texas, to vote for another mediocre white man, James Tallarico. That's your big plan? Also, Christina, let's talk about another fallacy in your argument when it comes to the Senate race in Texas. Because you said,
Do not vote for Jasmine Crockett. Texas is a gerrymandered state, and a black woman is never going to win.
yeah, whoever's paying you all needs to pay you all to do some research or give you some better talking points. Because no matter how gerrymandered Texas is, that only affects districts. And districts are what vote for congressmen, United States congressmen. The Senate race in the state of Texas, like every other state, is a statewide election with no specific districts. That means everybody gets to vote on the next senator of the state of Texas, regardless of your talk of gerrymandering. One last fact before I go. Texas is the home of the largest black population of any state, with approximately 4.3 million black people. That number, coupled with the other minorities that call themselves our allies in Texas and disgruntled white people by the current administration, should be more than enough to elect Jasmine Crockett as the next senator from the state of Texas, unless, of course, you all are fronting, which there's a high possibility you all are.
Put this wig wearing, bald head, let me not say that. I'm trying to be a good Christian. Put on the screen Jasmine Crocker crap. The dumbest congressperson ever is now trying to run for Senate in Texas.
Baby, you worried about somebody's wig while not being worried enough about you being a single M&M away from a diabetic attack. You worried about the wrong shit. Even the advertisers on your own video are trying to get through to you, bigums. And before y'all get in my comments, yes, I do match energy. I match misogynoir with fat phobia. We don't go high over here. You are an entire internet joke, beloved. For the people who are not familiar with this fool, his name is Brandon Officer Tatum. He adds absolutely nothing to the advocacy and debate spaces, and people even on his own side think he's as sharp as a marble. And this is simply projection of his own internalized anti-Blackness and self-hatred, because assuming that a black woman is bald because she chooses to wear wigs or protective styles is like peak intentional misogynoir. And it always amazes me when black men are able to fix their lips and speak about us, black women, in this way, because their black ass mamas are likely sitting up under a wig or some bundles right now as we speak. Let's start there. And the way that he's giving it up towards Jasmine Crockett, you would have thought that she said she was gonna slap said mama. This is his response to Jasmine Crockett simply announcing that she's running for Senate. So he decides to take that information and try to humiliate her in front of his overwhelmingly white racist fan base. Like, it doesn't get any more than that. So boom. I think a lot of you guys are underestimating Jasmine Crockett in a way that's only going to benefit her. No shade. First and foremost, y'all are plastering this lady's name, face, and likeness all over the internet and giving her campaign free promotion to your millions of followers. Secondly, 52% of the Texas population is attached to some type of minority group, and that's not taken into consideration the very large LGBTQ community that is currently facing a record amount of legislation directly targeting their rights. Furthermore, Republicans are not polling well well. Nationwide, you guys are very much fragmented. So if Jasmine Crockett can appeal to the working class and advocate or campaign on affordability, healthcare reform, equity for lower income families, she may pick up some of the almost 3 million unaffiliated voters in the state of Texas. Now let's get into the conversation of Brandon Tatum, of all people, calling Jasmine Crockett low IQ or dumb when he can't even form a coherent sentence without the help of his staff in his ear. I'm thoroughly convinced that some black men just hate black women who are better than them in every aspect of life. Because let's just keep it a buck. We are currently comparing a former public defender, former civil rights attorney, current congresswoman, first African-American woman to be elected freshman leadership representative in the 118th Congress, to a failed police officer turned influencer. The jokes write themselves, because whether or not Jasmine Crockett wins this Senate race or not, her name is going to be in the textbooks. Her name is going to be on someone's AP US history exam 100 years from now. Yours won't. And with all of that and a bag of chips being said, please feel free to comment your thoughts down below. As always, it is your...
The white so-called pro-Palestine cause colonizers piss me the fuck off. And they're at it again, and this time it's an account called Rogue DNC. They interviewed Jasmine Crockett and then uploaded the video just moments ago. And they're already starting a campaign against her. A woman who's never taken a fucking cent from AIPAC. And she fucking held her own.
And I want to be clear. No one should ever be okay with war.
Well, you voted to fund it.
No, I did not vote to fund war. What I voted for...
Yes, you did. You voted to supply Israel with armaments that they're using in their prosecution of the war.
Do you understand that we took more than one vote? Because we had 3 votes on Israel.
There have been like 1 million votes on Israel.
We had 3 votes as relates to funding for Israel. The very first vote was to fund Israel and defund the IRS, because that's what the Republicans put on the floor. That because the Republicans run the House. Okay, what was my vote? It was a no.
No.
Then
you ultimately voted yes on the bill to fund Israel.
The second vote was to fund Israel and no other funding. Okay. The third vote, was it just for funding Israel, or was it also to get money to the people of Gaza?
And that aid has been consistently blocked. I mean, you can complain about Netanyahu, but he's the one administering the funding that you've said.
My guy, the U.S. Senate has no control over Netanyahu. But it's so interesting that you essentially glossed over the fact that she was talking about voting for getting aid into Gaza, an area that was experiencing a stage 5 famine. But you were so intent on taking down the black woman, who again is running for senator in Texas, who will be good for Texas. And as a senator, she will also be good for the United States. I checked on this account and they have like 1 billion videos on Zohran Mamdani, which, great, I campaigned for him. And I, like them, want politicians to do better on this issue as well as other issues. But Zohran Mamdani was running for mayor of a city that happens to be incredibly progressive. But what's interesting is I didn't see a single fucking video on Omar Fateh, a Somali mayoral candidate in Minneapolis who lost to a guy who is not particularly pro-Palestine. You know, but he's black. You know who else is black? Jasmine Crockett and Kamala Harris. So if we're connecting the dots here, anybody who is black is fair game, and fuck the citizens of the United States. So yeah, to the white cause colonizers out there, I really recommend that you do some self-reflection about who you're criticizing and how it is actually helping the American people. Because spoiler, getting MAGA into these positions, as you all have been helping to do, has not helped anyone in the US and definitely has not helped anyone in Palestine.
Neither of them received money from AIPAC. Neither Jasmine Crockett nor James Tellerico have received funds from AIPAC. Not my opinion, those are the facts. Because y'all are already starting with misinformation. If you're going to make a claim, at least make an informed one. Neither of them are receiving money from AIPAC. In addition to that, I've seen people say what cannot be done, what has never happened, what could never happen, and all these hot takes, especially from people who do not reside in the state of Texas, giving their opinions on Texas politics and the state of the state. But understand something, Texas is in a state of flux, a state of change, an inflection point, actually. But you have to have the audacity to hope that things can and will change, to work to ensure that these dreams and ideas that we have become a reality, and to fight against what could appear to be insurmountable circumstance, to do something that has not been done before, to do something that has not been done in decades. It's possible. We see it all across the country. We see people flipping seats that haven't been flipped in 30 years. We see them winning by points unprecedented in recent elections. We see things happening right now that show that people are ready and eager for change and eager for something new. So if you would please refrain from your hot takes and your pessimistic viewpoints, and we can really get to work. Advocate. Use your platform to do something good and positive. But please refrain from misinformed claims being spread on the internet and from making takes that do nothing but deter. People need to be determined right now, not deterred. And also understand that a competitive primary is good. It's a good thing. Some of y'all act like y'all don't want a choice. Not too long ago, you were just talking about how much you wanted a choice, how much you desire to choose who your candidate is and was. Now you have a choice and you don't even know how to act. Be grateful in the choice. Be grateful in the fact that you have a decision to make and that you can choose between two powerful, strong, committed candidates to represent you. Lock in, people.
Didn't I tell you about the leftists, the white leftists? I'm a liberal. I'm not a leftist. These white leftists, minority leftists, right away out the box are attacking Jasmine Crockett. Yes, she voted for bills that gave money to Israel, but guess what? What was in those bills? It wasn't only money for Israel. It was for a lot of other things. But now you have a purity test for a black woman. And for the past 75, 80 years, every single one of these people have been giving away our money to Israel. But now you're going to pile on Jasmine Crockett? Is that it? We should not be giving Israel any money. But her little one vote is not going to stop it. How many of these people that are in Congress and in the Senate have dual citizenship with Israel? How many of them? Do you think that the Democrat Moskowitz from Florida is not going to vote yes for money for Israel? Do you think Blumenthal, Bernie voted yes? Because all the time these bills are structured with so much shit in them that there are things in there that benefit other people than the people of Israel, and people have to vote yes to get it. But you leftists are the reason that this country is going to get destroyed, because you're looking for some kind of puritanical person that doesn't exist. The only puritanical person that you all seem to think exists is Jesus Christ. And he ain't coming back. You all need to stop this. You all need to stop it. What needs to happen is that both Democrats and Republicans need to stop giving money to Israel. As not only Israel, they need to... What about the $1 billion that Marco Rubio is sending to Kenya for health care when we don't even have health care? You guys' priorities are so fucking upside down. It's no wonder that Trump can pull all the shit that he does on this country. Because y'all are stupid.
I don't support Jasmine Crockett, and let me tell you why. Even though she doesn't take money from pro-Israel PACs, she voted to condemn Iran for attacking Israel, In 2024, she voted yes to give Israel $26 billion for military aids. She also was one of the people that went on the Tel Aviv taxpayer-funded trips, which is a sister organization to AIPAC. And also when asked, should we cut funding, military funding from Israel, she said it was one of the scariest things, citing the 75 years U.S.-Israel relationships. Those are all the facts, okay?
Now, you understand that before me talking about this, I need to distinguish between entire communities and organized political segments, because Arab Muslims and pro-Palestinian movements are internally diverse. You understand that they come from different ethnicity. For example, Palestinian movements are internally diverse. They span from ideologies and generations. However, critics argue that in a specific political moments, such as local or congressional races, some organizational and influencers within these spaces have withheld solidarity from Black candidates and Black-led causes, even when Black voters previously mobilized for Arab or Palestinian issues. And it depends on how we treat this issue, because this is something which is universal hostility. Why am I saying universal hostility? Because it is a recurring pattern of selective solidarity that raises question about hierarchy, political interest, and coalition ethics. Let me talk about anti-Blackness as a global and transactional phenomenon. Anti-Blackness is not exclusive to Western societies. It is a global structure which is embedded in structures to Western societies. It is embedded to Western societies. I'm talking about enslavement, color, hierarchies, and colonial racial ordering in many Arab societies. Blackness has historically been associated with servitude, with marginalization, and social stigma, legacies that persist culturally even among diaspora communities. Now, sociologists argue that migration does not erase these attitudes, but some often transports them into new political contexts. When Arab Muslims enter U.S. racial politics, they may unconsciously reproduce inherited hierarchies that devalue Black political leadership while prioritizing their group survival and interests. Also, there is political instrumentalization of Black solidarity, and this is true because there is a recurring critique from Black activists that Black political support is often treated as instrumental rather than reciprocal. Now, pro-Palestinian movements in the U.S. have historically drawn heavily on Black radical traditions, invoking figures like Malcolm X, Angela Davis, and the civil rights movements to legitimize their struggle. Yet, when Black communities seek concrete political support in return, particularly in electoral contexts, that solidarity can evaporate. Now, scholars describe this as asymmetrical coalition building, where Black more capital is welcomed, but Black political agency is resisted when it competes with other priorities. So, the refusal or the reluctance by some Arab Muslims or pro-Palestinian voters to support Black candidates such as Jasmine Crockett has been interpreted as revealing underlying racial boundaries. Now, while some voters may justify abstention through foreign policy grievances or ideological purity tests, political scientists note that these standards are rarely applied evenly. Black candidates, oftentimes, they are expected to demonstrate nearly or total alignment, while non-Black candidates receive flexibility. This uneven expectation reinforces the perception that Black leadership is tolerated only when it is subordinate or symbolic, not when it seeks autonomous power. Now, in the US, racial hierarchy may non-Black immigrants group navigate a space between marginalization and conditional inclusion. Scholars of race describe this as what we call racial triangulation. This is where groups seek proximity to whiteness by distancing themselves from Blackness. We call it racial triangulation, right? So when they move away from Blackness and they want to resonate much with whiteness, it becomes a problem because this affects their decision. This affects how they think. This affects how they make decisions. And I think this is a problem that has made the United States where it is today because of the same type of thinking that some of these people have. They have the same type of thinking, right? So, supporting Black political figures may be viewed consciously or not as a risk to social positioning and acceptance within broader American society. Also, I might be talking about religious solidarity versus racial solidarity. Yes, this is another important dimension to talk about. Understand that another tension lies in how solidarity is defined. Many Arab Muslims Muslim organizations prioritize religious or ethno-national identity over racial justice framework, while Islam preaches racial equality in principle. Sociological studies shows that religious universalism does not automatically dismantle racial bias. When political organizing centers Palestine as a singular moral issue while sidelining Black domestic struggles such as policing, such as voting rights or economic inequality, it creates a hierarchy of suffering. Black critics argue that this hierarchy reveals whose lives are treated as globally urgent and whose are deemed locally inconvenience. As in this case, as we are seeing historical patterns of one-way alliance. This is happening in real time because historically, Black movements in the US have repeatedly extended solidarity across causes. Anti-colonial struggles, immigrant rights, anti-war movements, often without receiving sustained support in return. And this pattern contributes to growing skepticism among Black voters regarding coalition politics. The perceived refusal to support Black candidates is thus not read as an isolated event, but as part of a longer history in which Black people are expected to show up morally, rhetorically, and electorally, while others, their own political aspirations are treated as negotiable or expandable. So, from all the scholarly perspective that I've tried to look into, this issue about betrayal and more about accountability. Genuine coalition politics require reciprocity, consistency, and willingness to confront internal biases. Anti-Blackness within any movement, be it religious, be it ethnic, be it ideological, all these undermine a moral credibility and long-term effectiveness. If Arab Muslims and pro-Palestinian political organizations seek durable alliances with Black communities, they must move beyond symbolic gestures and demonstrate concrete political support when Black leadership is on the line. Without this, claims of shared struggle risk being perceived as rhetorical rather than principled. So brothers and sisters, please let me know what you think about this video. As you know, I'm your host and presenter, Tech Stories. But until then, let me see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.